Hi there guys, I hope you're very well. So I am here in my blanket. You see my little blanket here because it's very cold. It's super cold. Now I've put Elvis the lovebird to bed, but as you can hear he'll probably interrupt. So we're talking calories and muscle tonight, and I think this will be very beneficial for you to learn all about calories and muscle. So let's just lay down some facts first of all, right? He's so naughty. He's very naughty. So lay down some facts. 1 gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories. And 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. And 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So you can see how it's really easy to take in more calories when you're on a very high fat diet, even though fat is really good for us. Also, when you're taking carbohydrates, it takes up to about 23% of your body's energy to convert them into human fat, which burns half the calories off, a lot of the calories off. Whereas with the fat, it takes 2% of our body's energy to turn fat into body fat, If he carries on like this, I'll go outside. Actually, I'll go outside now. So follow me. I'll take you on a tour of my house. Okay. So we're now in my kitchen, right? Okay. So I'm going to just put, I'm just going to perch you there so that you can see me. There we go. That's nice, isn't it? That's lovely. Okay, so let's recap. 1 gram of carbs, 4 calories. 1 gram of protein, 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, 9 calories. Yeah, it takes up to 23% of our body's energy to convert carbs into body fat. It takes only 2% of the body's energy to convert fat into body fat. So you can see how it's really easy to lay down fat and take in more calories. Now, fat has got bad press in recent times, but really fat is good for us. Our brain is made up of fat. All kinds of things are made up of fat, and we do need it. The only fat that we really store, the fat that clogs our arteries, etc., is saturated fat. The other fat is really good for us. So a very easy way of looking at reducing fat is just to reduce your saturated fat, and of course this is by grilling instead of frying and all the rest of it, and just looking at packages, at reducing fat. Now, I don't know whether any of you saw the BBC program on calories and the truth about calories. This is the difference between guys and gals, right? So it's not right. And it's not fair that guys can actually eat 30% more calories than ladies, and some even more depending on how big the lady is and how big the guy is, So my dad is a big guy, 6'2", big guy, hands like shovels. He can probably eat a bit more than the average lady, and get away with it. So they took 3 couples and they gave them a 600-calorie fry-up to enjoy. And they asked the various couples to do certain things, and one of the couples was asked to sit on the sofa and not do anything, just watch TV. And 4 to 5 hours later, the guy had burnt 640 calories just sitting watching TV. And the poor lady had just burnt 289 calories. And he'd burnt his fry up off already without even trying. And it seems so unfair, but there is a reason for this. And the reason for this is men have more muscle than ladies, which makes them have a metabolic rate 10 to 15% higher than ladies. So there's a lot of ladies out there, when I introduce them to weights, when I introduce them to any kind of resistance weight training, they go, but I don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't want to look like a man. Well, ladies don't have enough testosterone in their bodies to look like guys, yeah? guys have got a different hormone system going on, and we develop long, lean muscle rather than bulky muscle. Now, here's a little fact you didn't know about Anna. I have more testosterone than the average lady, which will give me certain attributes, we can say, which I like. So I am stronger. I have a lot of muscle in my legs, actually. Also, I am hairier. It's a good job I'm fair. I'm hairier. And I have things like a higher sex drive, things like that. That's the sign of more testosterone. So if there's ladies out there that are randy, hairy, and muscle bound, you will know that you have a little bit more testosterone than the average lady. But it doesn't mean you're going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the secret to how guys can burn off a lot of calories just watching TV is in their muscle mass. So it would be silly for us girls not to build some muscle and not to follow suit. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn, the higher your metabolic rate will be, and the more you can technically eat. It's a win-win-win situation, yeah? So if you're metabolically challenged, like my good self, not building muscle is just silly because it's mental. So you really should be looking at building muscle, and that requires weight training, that requires resistance training, working with your own body weight as well, to build muscle in order to raise your metabolic rate so that you will burn more calories when at rest. And also there's the myth that you lose muscle mass as you get older, but this only happens if you become inactive. And they also say, well, it deteriorates with age. This will only happen if you stop moving. And you can actually build muscle at any age at all. It doesn't really matter. You can build muscle at any age. So I really want you to think about this. You know, I want you to be looking at your calories and the truth about calories. Ladies don't burn as many calories as guys, which is why we can't eat as many. Guys can eat 30% more than us. We've got to be looking at where we're getting our calories from, yeah? We don't really want the high fat foods if we're trying to reduce our calories. And you know, the fat is great for us. I don't want you to suddenly go low fat. Fat is good for us. It's just saturated fat that's bad for us. Now, my pet hate is the milk thing. This is my pet hate. I drink full fat milk. Full fat milk is full of vitamin D, it's full of vitamins, and it's full of minerals, yeah? And people go, I'm on super skimmed milk, right? Good fat is liquid at room temperature. What's milk? It's liquid at room temperature. Plus, full fat milk only has 3.24% fat in it, which is nothing, really. So people go, oh, I'm only having super skimmed milk, but I'll just have this sarnie with 20 grams of fat in it. It's ridiculous, yeah? So I would prefer you to have your full fat milk and reduce your fat in your sandwich, you see? So you can see where I'm going. The other interesting thing about milk is there's a reason why cartons were invented and plastic containers invented for milk, was when the milkman used to deliver the milk years ago and put it on the doorstep, the rays from the sun could penetrate through the glass and diminish the vitamins within it. Yeah, so then they thought, well, this is no good, because if you get up late and you come down to get your milk, not only has the birdie eaten the cream off the top of your milk through the silver foil, do you remember that? The vitamins have been diminished because it's been sat in the sunlight, yeah? So now we're looking at full fat milk with in the cartons, you know, and that's a good way to do it. When you're looking at fat in general, people always think about dairy products and they think about cheese and things like that. The softer the cheese, less fat. Cottage cheese, not much fat. Goat's cheese, soft goat's cheese, not much fat. You know, nice soft cheeses, not much fat. The harder the cheese, the higher the fat. And that is, when it comes to saturated fat, that's a really good way to think about it. So Good fat is liquid at room temperature. Olive oil, bad fat, lard. Very simple example. So it's very easy then to reduce your saturated fat. You will see your saturated fat at room temperature when a pizza cools down. You see it congealed on top of the pizza. Or when gravy cools down, you'll see it on top of the gravy. So we're looking at reducing calories as such. The truth about calories is not every calorie is the same, you know. So a fat calorie, you know, like 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories, where 1 gram of carbs equals 4. And it's not just how much calories we're taking, it's how we use our calories. Now, I blew your mind at the beginning of the week with Dr. Emoto and his water experiment, and like negativity going into water and producing bad results, and we are made up of water, and I was trying to stop you from doing the negative self-talk and all the rest of it. But what I want you to think about is, if you are in a frantic state or a stressed state and an emotionally stressed state, that food is going to be used in a very different way than if you're in a calm, collected, enjoyable state when you're eating. So I always talk about the cup of tea with the sugar in it. In all honesty, if you're in a good emotional state, that teaspoon of sugar probably will not touch you. But if you were in a stressed state, which is often when people drink tea, they often drink tea and coffee when they're stressed, it will only magnify the problem. It will only make it worse. Yes. So the truth about calories is really interesting. People don't think that our emotions are caused by our food. They don't think that food causes our emotions. And it's all interlinked. It's all in that together. So I really want you to be thinking about where you're getting your calories from and what emotional state you are in. And for those of you with partners, male partners, I want you to be thinking of, how big is that guy in relation to you? Is he taller than you? Is he broader than you? He can eat 30% more than you. But do you have the same dinner? Is it the same size? He can eat 30% more. It's really easy to measure up against your chap and just reduce down. I know that a few of you are in families, you know, even if you're measuring it up against your brother, it doesn't matter. Just reducing your portion size and letting the guys eat 30% more, you'll see a big difference in your body. It will make a big difference to you. And then, of course, I want you building some lean muscle. You will not turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger. We want to raise our own metabolic rate. Who doesn't want to burn fat while we're resting? And who doesn't want to be able to eat more? Yeah? So every extra pound of muscle you build, you can be burning an extra 100 calories every half an hour just sat watching TV. That's a win-win situation. So if you haven't tried some weight training or resistance training that I've given you, do it this week. And if I haven't given you that, come to me and we'll sort something out just for you so that you can do some weight training that will suit you. We want to make you stronger. We want you to make you leaner. We want to raise your metabolic rate, and we want for you to be able to eat more calories without putting on 10 stones. So I do hear a lot of ladies going, do you know what, I've only got to eat slightly over and I start putting weight on and I have to really restrict myself. Well, it's time to build some muscle. That is what it's time to do. So it's just a quick one today, but I just want you to think about it. Sorry about Elvis the Lovebird making so much noise at the very, very, very beginning, but I came out into my lovely kitchen to solve that problem. So if you have any questions regarding this, come back to me, speak to me. This is what it's all about. And I will speak to you soon. I'll be tormenting you very, very soon. Okay then, bye.